Time now for round 4 of the Disc RGB Championship. Round 3 yesterday was won by Alistair Bolton from John Cutmore and Scott Mittal, while David Watson beat Austin Greenway and Stephen Bell. Sadly, a fuel pump disconnection after a spin caused retirement for Oliver Hewitt, but he's back out again today. He's going to be starting from the back of the grid. On the front row, though, it's John Cutmore and Duncan Haller, Scott Mittal and Al Bolton on row 2. Watch out for the front engine cars of Austin Greenway and David Watson as well, but we're on board with Oliver Hewitt from the back of the grid, and look at this. Well, he's made about 4 or 5 places already. He's going past one of the Arians now. That's the car of Kevin Bolton as he heads down towards Clervaux for the first time, past the Wolf of Tony Gaunt as well, and several places already made up by the man from Barwell before the first corner, and he's already, I think, with his VR Motorsport teammate Rob Gardner as they headed through the first couple of corners. So a fantastic launch off the line by Oliver Hewitt. He had planned that out carefully. He knew which part of the circuit he wanted to be heading for. He's pulled up and is out of the race. Colin Spicer with the Wildmore, you can see making a move on the inside of Tower Corner. We're on board now with the number 12 car of David Whale, who finished inside the top 6 yesterday. He's in another of the Spies that feature quite heavily on the grid in the Disc RGB Championship these days. Making his way through Barcroft now towards Sunny. Side by side, they are disputing a position a bit further back down the order as far as Class F is concerned, because you have got David Watson and Austin Greenway well up the field in actual fact. Both of them running inside the top 4 or 5 positions at the moment at least. And there's that rear-engined Genesis. We used to see a few of those cars out on the grid. Adrian Moore there making up ground, passing one of those front-engine cars as well at Clervaux Corner. So the Disc RGB Championship for these cars powered by effectively 1 litre motorcycle engines. A number of different engines can be used. And we do have this mix of front and rear engine cars. I know they all... Oh, now Daniel Larner there we could see on the inside at Tower Corner. He'd had a spin. I was about to say is that the organisers are particularly keen to promote the front-engined class. As we look there at a challenge going on, that is between David Watson and the number 44 car of Mark Betts in one of the rear-engine Spires. And it looks like David for the moment is still leading the Class F, in a very strong position overall, and Austin Greenway a couple of cars behind him. He's doing battle with the rear-engine car of David Whale. So the M&Rs of Watson and Greenway certainly holding their own here at Croft this weekend. Watson second in the championship coming into the meeting, having had a win and a third at Brands. James Walker, who's not here this weekend, was the other front engine class winner down in Kent. Here we are with David Whale then. You can see Greenway a good few car lengths up ahead now, getting away from us really as we go through the chicane onto the old pit straight down towards Tower Corner. Here the high revving motorcycle engine of the Spire that we're on board with. And the gap is compressed a little bit as we go through the corners, but Greenway accelerates out of town, pulling out a few more lengths over Whale again. Looks to me as if Greenway is closing in on the 2 cars in front. He's taking Whale with him as well, I think. So I think we're going to have 3 cars here for what will be 3rd position, because we've got John Cutmore and Scott Mittal a bit further up the road. We also need to watch out, of course, for the recovering Al Bolton and burning from the stern Ollie Hewitt as well, because they're both on a mission. Is that them we can see in the background? It may well be. I think they are homing in now on this group of 4 cars that are disputing 3rd place. So you've got the 2 front engine cars, you've got the 2 rear engine cars. It's an intriguing mix that we have here at Croft this weekend. David Whale in that number 12 car, a real stalwart of the RGB Championship as well. He's been part of it for a number of seasons, having raced in other things before he came into it. Through Clervaux and towards Hall.